everybody, I hope you're well. I am doing videos this month on the theme of your relationship with yourself, and that's also what I'm doing as my theme for Miracle Mondays. So last week we talked about decision making at Miracle Mondays, and a Miracle Monday being my regular monthly new workshop series. It's live and in person in Vancouver. If you're here, I'd love to have you. It went really well last week. I was so thrilled by those of you who participated and so open-heartedly, and we really went deep, which I was so impressed by. There was actually a lot of content I hadn't even thought to include, and we just naturally went there. So yeah, it was really great. So I'm very much looking forward to the next one, which is going to be June 10th. And that is going to be about the miracle of relationships. And not just, say, romantic relationships or significant other relationships, but including family, parents, children, siblings, work relationships, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your body. So we're going to be looking at how they are affecting you and also how they mirror things inside yourself that could benefit from healing. So please do join me. And so for the main topic, as I said, it's about your relationship with yourself, and I wanted to talk about self-care, like that, how your relationship with yourself is actually the greatest form of self-care. And the reason I say that is that when we are taking the time to connect with ourselves, and I'm thinking particularly of a morning practice of, like when I wake up, I write 3 pages, just subconscious writing, and then I get up, I have some juice, and then I'll do some yoga and some meditation, and then I take a few moments just to connect with myself in silence. And I have what I call this impeccable place. It's like this ping, and I know that I've connected to it, and that stays with me throughout the day. So whenever, if I'm running around doing lots of things, every hour on the hour, my watch goes off, and it just reminds me to connect back to self, have a glass of water. It's really coming from this place which I think helps me to respond, rather than a place of just reacting, a space of reaction. So I think that is so valuable because it's coming from an authentic place where I'm taking the time to pause, come back to myself. Whatever's happening, I can always come home, so to speak, and that's my home within myself. And that is an incredibly valuable place for us to be. And this is truly my greatest act of self-care that I do each day, because I'm always going to be able to come back to this place of peace within myself. And also it means that I'm not, say, getting stressed about things, which is good for you in general. It's this place of consciousness. It's a place of remembering to eat good food, of meditating, of doing enough yoga, of stretching. Whenever I come back to this quiet place, and this is a place where I feed myself and I nurture myself, and where I just am. It's like I don't even need to do an activity. I just am. The being comes before doing. And when you're taking the time then to just be here, you're also looking for the things that help you, like eating good food, buying good food, growing good food, the quality of the people that you keep company with, how they make you feel, the way you place your energy. What are the things that you're doing? What are the activities that you're doing? Who are you spending time with? How are you talking? Hi, whoever's joined you. Thank you for joining. How are you talking about your dreams? How are you talking about yourself? Oh, hi, Elia. Oh my gosh. I have been thinking about you so much. I will message you after this. Yeah, actually, Elia, so much of what I'm talking about right now is about stuff that we've talked about. So yeah, your self-talk, your languaging. How are you talking about yourself? And in fact, I kind of think about it like having a shower. Like at the end of the day, you want to take off all the grime and all the dust, and the way you color your words, that's like getting rid of the junk that you don't need. And as an example, if you know my story, you'll know that I'm a dancer, and as I was doing my professional training, I was always, even actually when I first started dancing professionally I was always telling myself I was never good enough, I'm never going to make it. And of course it was impossible to build a career when I was that down on myself, and I was constantly getting injured and still dealing with that. And So that's not practicing good self-care. That's not helping me. That is not being productive. It's, it goes, or it's even more basic than just practicing self-love, because it just wasn't in any way helping me. So your relationship with yourself is actually a great act of self-care, because the question is, are you being productive or not? And all that sabotage and all that cutting down does nothing to help you. And people think, oh, well, it protects you, but you're actually doing quite a lot of damage to yourself. So instead, how can you, put that energy into something that nurtures you? Put that energy into something that feeds you and elevates you and helps you progress. And it's really just about how you feel. Do you feel light, or do you feel heavy with however you're talking to yourself? And you want to be able to aim for that lightness and doing good things for yourself. And when I was doing the Miracle Monday last week, one of the women in the group, we were talking about values, and she said she has a fear of missing out on experiences. And then I suggested to her that she could swap that language around and use, just embracing every experience. And that comes from a place of such good feeling, of such passion, of connection, of expansion, instead of feeling maybe like quite constricted and holding on to it. Oh, I fear that I'm not going to be able to get this. Instead, I'm going to embrace when this arrives. And it's such, we're going through life with our hands open to receive and totally connected. And what an empowered place that is. And so when we start to think about how are we talking, how are we thinking, how are we expressing ourselves, all of that is self-care. It has an impact on our being, and therefore has an impact on the way we're showing up in the world. It has an impact of how we're going forward in the world as well. Because, while I was telling myself that I was a terrible artist, which is not true, imagine how I was going forth in the world. Very painfully, physically, let me tell you that to start with. But, I was shrank a lot. I was very constricted, and so it was kind of like I wasn't noticed. But now that I don't have that attachment, it's just I'm showing up and I'm being me, and I'm making really great connections all the time, literally all the time. And that serves me, and I'm not even like that in order to get something out of it. I just know it's healthier for me, and I feel better, and so therefore I'm automatically taking good care of myself, and then great things come from that. And, when we're in that space of sabotaging ourselves or not feeling good about ourselves, we are literally doing damage to ourselves. So that is the most opposite of self-care possible. So, even just taking the time to look at how we're talking and thinking and acting and feeling, these are really the core things of self-care. And taking the moment to connect to yourself throughout the day, these are really simple elements of self-care. And even before you go to the yoga class, before you go for the massage, it's like rewinding your practices and coming back to the core, which is you. And so I say that your greatest act of self-care is, in fact, connecting to yourself and being authentic, and knowing your own wants and needs, knowing your dreams, knowing what sets you on fire. Also taking the time to investigate the things that really excite you. I've taken a lot of time over the past few years to look for things that have interested me. And as I've been spending that time, growing my business as well, because it's interesting to me and I'm able to create a lifestyle for myself that I want, I've learned that I'm really good at running a business, and I'm good at making money, and I'm good at bringing in income, which are things that I didn't know, having grown up in an artistic environment where, people who had money were evil. So there truly is a whole other side to myself that I did not know existed. But because I'd taken the time to sit with myself and uncover the layers, and a lot of it was in facing up to my own stuff around money, for example, and then I was able to do this 360 turn and think about changing my mindset, about changing my practices. So it was huge. Like, it really changed me on all levels because I took the time to, peel back the onion, so to speak. So I really encourage you to take a look at your relationship with yourself. How are you treating yourself? How are you nurturing yourself? How are you investing in yourself? How are you doing things to discover things about yourself that you didn't even know, which are actually so core to you, but you didn't even know it was there. But it's part of your destiny to realize this. So uncover or unpeel those layers and get to know yourself, and just be delighted by everything you're learning about yourself and how you're then going forth in the world. And this is how we create change as well. Just imagine the impact it just naturally has on everybody around you. And, and when you practice this, really in-depth form of self-care, you're giving people permission to do that for themselves too. Because I think, especially for women, we think, oh, well, is it selfish to spend that much time on myself? I should be helping other people first. I'm not as important. But that's not true. We're as important as everybody else. We have the same right to take care of ourselves as much as we do everybody else. So give yourself that permission, dig deep. I would love to know how this video helped you, and I would love to know if there's any other topics that I can help you with. Please do comment below, and I will be back with more videos. Thank you so much.